Hi there, it's Vanessa from Cove, and you're listening to the 68th edition of The Networker. This week, we're exploring how emotion drives influence at the negotiation table, how vibe working challenges what productivity really means, how entrepreneurs rebuild freedom through community, and how those outside the inner circle can still build networks that open doors. We'll also look at why social connection remains the most powerful career advantage, how to create real leads on LinkedIn without the push, what your body says before your words do, and why networking isn't a chore but a lifeline for founders. And as always, we'll close with our book and podcast of the week, this time on the future of AI and the human side of work. So let's dive in. Our first story comes from Cove Insights, exploring how trust and emotion quietly shape every negotiation. Research shows disappointment can move deals forward while guilt often does the opposite. But the true variable is trust. When trust runs high, emotion builds bridges. When it's low, it breaks them. The best negotiators don't fake feelings. They stay authentic, grounded, and quick to act on promises. Emotion, used wisely, becomes not manipulation, but meaning. Then, from the Financial Times, we meet the strange new phrase, vibe working. Microsoft's latest buzzword promises AI that feels the mood of productivity. But the article cuts through the hype, reminding us that not every vibe equals value. The rise of what HBR calls work slop, AI-generated fluff masquerading as progress, shows how automation without intent only shifts the burden downstream. True work still needs judgment, context, and care. In short, the vibes aren't enough. From there, Entrepreneur tells the story of Stephanie Camarillo, who reclaimed control of her life and business after 2 decades by building community. She calls it freedom through structure, the kind built by people, not systems. Her journey shows that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's leadership in motion. Success, she reminds us, doesn't come from escaping the hard parts, but embracing them, with the right people beside you. Next, a study in Fortune asks how entrepreneurs outside elite circles can compete with those born into them. The answer lies in network centrality, the quality and confidence behind your connections. Researchers found that boosting networking self-efficacy, pursuing harmonious rather than obsessive passion, and keeping a future focus can close the gap. Privilege may open doors, but belief, focus, and persistence can build new ones. That idea connects neatly to another Fortune piece, where Scott Galloway reminds young professionals that 70% of hires come through someone who advocates for them. His advice is simple: be social, be generous, and build goodwill. People remember how you made them feel, not just what you achieved. The future belongs to those who create advocates long before they need them. Back to Entrepreneur, where Christopher Tompkins offers a masterclass on doing LinkedIn right. The secret? Stop pitching, start listening. Connection begins when you show curiosity, comment with intent, and give before you ask. Real leads grow from real relationships, not from automation, but attention. The best outreach doesn't sell, it serves. Then Inc. turns to the unspoken side of communication. Body language expert Linda Clemens reminds founders that confidence is visible before it's audible. Posture, openness, and presence tell your story before your words do. Entrepreneurs who align mind, body, and message radiate trust. As Clemens says, your mind better be in the same spot as your behind. In other words, if you're in the room, be there fully. And finally, Startups Magazine challenges the myth that networking is outdated. Writer Andrew Ruffler calls it organized serendipity, the human antidote to isolation. Data shows most founders feel lonely, anxious, and overworked. But connection, informal, regular, and without agenda, strengthens creativity and mental health alike. Networking isn't about the hard sell. It's about staying human in a world that often forgets how. Before we wrap up, let's turn to this week's reflections. Our book of the week is Human Compatible by Stuart Russell. As AI grows more powerful, Russell argues that safety lies not in control, but in relationship. Machines should stay uncertain about our goals, asking, learning, adapting, not assuming. The future of AI depends on designing systems that serve rather than dominate. And our podcast episode of the week, Managing the Future of Work, Microsoft's AI Perspective, explores the human side of the AI revolution. Microsoft's leaders emphasize that transformation starts with learning, not disruption. The best AI assists people doesn't replace them. It enhances relationships, builds collaboration, and grows trust, one skill at a time. That's all for the 68th edition of The Networker. The thread tying it all together this week is simple. Technology may evolve fast, but progress still depends on connection between people, between trust and truth, between what we build and why we build it. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and remember, the best networks aren't built, they're nurtured. And don't forget, the full edition of The Networker is waiting in your inbox. I'll see you next time.